Del Shores. Not yet? Oh.
And we're live.
Are we live now?
Yes.
This is so new. I'm Del Shores.
And I'm Emerson Collins. And you're watching The Del and Emerson Show.
Straight talk.
Real gay.
Oh,
Okay.
God.
Yeah, we did it.
We practiced and everything.
We did. You know, they say good dress rehearsal, terrible opening.
Oh,
hey, everybody watching out in the world. Welcome to our show. We did the Del and Emerson Show for 3 years on UBN Radio, and we decided now is the perfect time to bring it back because we have lots of free time.
I know. I was like, when is it going to be 4 o'clock? I'm ready.
What it is just a reflection of is that we are not essential people.
Well,
we don't do essential things.
We've been shut down. We just got shut down everywhere.
It's true. Now, wherever you are watching this broadcast, we can see your comments on the Facebook page. So I will see your comments, we will see your questions, and we will bring them up later in the show.
All right. And we're going to keep talking on each other because we haven't quite gotten this down. This is all new to us. We used to be in a studio with headsets and a microphone, but now we have to kind of watch to see when we stop talking.
Yes. Well, you know, I realized we've been doing so many things. You've been doing all these live stream shows.
Yeah, solo stuff though.
It's what you been doing?
Well, I've been every night at 7 o'clock on my Facebook page. I read these sorted bedtime stories. And in 2006, 2007, I wrote a partial novel, which I feel like now I have to finish. And every single chapter was the name of a character, and the whole novel told a story, and it was literally the prequel to Sorted Lives, which became the series. So I unearthed them, and I've been reading them. And then at 7:30, I just show episodes of Sorted Lives, the series. Tonight is episode number 10.
And I am out in Palm Springs, quarantined at Scott Nevin's house with Blake. And so last night, we did a live stream, fake version of The People's Couch, and we watched the entire Real Housewives of New York premiere and live streamed it from the couch. Talking along and watching with the people, and it actually turned out really fun.
It was fabulous. I watched it.
I was a little worried that people would realize that what happened on The People's Couch is that we watched a show for an hour. They took like the 4 funny things we said and made that seem entertaining, and the rest of the time we were just eating Cheez-Its and watching television.
Yeah, well, but the good thing is everybody was watching with you this time, so it was a little bit of a different experience,
communal experience.
So
yes.
I just wanted to say, and our very special guest star today on the Del and Emerson Show is Mr. Leslie Jordan. I mean, we thought who for our first show. And of course, we called on the funniest man I know, who was your co-star in A Very Sordid Wedding.
It's true. Y'all, obviously we love Leslie, and he's been blowing up all over the internet, but he has taken some time out of his busy Instagram schedule to join us, so he'll be here a little later. And whether you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, or Periscope, all of your comments come together so I can see everything that y'all have to say.
There you go.
Yay! So our show has always been about what's happening in the week in LGBTQ news, so we're going to keep that as the focus and share the stories that we think are serious, that should be talked about, that are funny, that you should know about, and then we'll get to Leslie in a little bit. So, kicking it off, story number 1. This week, the FDA announced that finally men who have sex with other men can donate blood after being celibate for only 3 months instead of 12 months, which was the original absurd, ridiculous ban. Now, it's not any better. I mean, I guess if this quarantine lasts for 3 months, there'll be some gay men that are single and have been at home that'll be able to donate. But there are also men who sleep with men who have had the virus, who now have plasma that doctors and researchers could use to work on a vaccine, to work on a cure, that they can't take plasma from these men because of these ridiculous, draconian, archaic, homophobic, biphobic, panphobic rules from the FDA.
It's crazy that this is still going on, Emerson, because when I remember when I was working on Queer as Folk, it was one of our big episodes was when Brian wanted to give blood to Michael and he could not. And we were thinking, with all the the science that we now have, this is going to go away. And it's just crazy that it hasn't.
Also, anything that men who sleep with men can have, other people can have. So they're testing the blood anyway. Right. And not only that, we're facing a national blood shortage. The Red Cross hospitals are talking about how, because of what's happening and because of people can't go out, blood donations are low. So there's an actual shortage, and they're still like, no, we don't want to have your weird gay sex blood. It makes my brain bleed.
Yeah. All right. And so we also have in the news more anti-LGBTQ story. This one just pisses me off because I just stay pissed off at Franklin Graham. And I mean, right? So he now has this Samaritan's Purse, which is set up in Central Park. And it sounds like a really good thing because it's 68-bed respiratory unit. But they are recruiting these Christian volunteers, and they have to adhere and sign that they will agree that, number one, transgender people don't exist. They don't exist. So I just want, my good friends, Calpurnia, Danielle, y'all don't exist, according to Franklin Graham. Same-sex marriage is a sin. Well, we knew that.
I mean, that's fine. Like, sure.
They've been saying that forever. Gay people should be celibate. Well, I am.
Just like the FDA.
I am so celibate right now during the coronavirus or risk damnation and eternal punishment. Well, I took that risk a long time ago, Franklin fucking Graham, and I'm good with it. I'm good with it. I feel like if I go to eternal damnation, at least Cher will be there.
I'm willing to risk it.
No, but seriously, I mean, I'm being silly here a little bit, but it pisses me off. And I want to ask you, Emerson, because I grew up with Billy Graham crusades. We always went with my parents, and I don't remember his dad being such a vile human being. He seemed to have a loving heart. Maybe he believed this shit, but he didn't spew hatred like this asshole does.
Well, Billy was, definitely your fire and brimstone, like that good old school. But I feel like that was so much more back in the day where people didn't preach sermons about LGBTQ people. It was just known. You'd rail about the sodomites once a year just to get it in. But Franklin's definitely leaned all the way into the modern, like full bigotry, full Trump supporting, full, sold his soul to MAGA.
Oh, it's just
country.
Well, all right. Fuck him. Moving on. Go.
All right. Well, this next one, as we discussed the other day, I devoured Tiger King because I am just appalled and fascinated by this polyamorous, homosexual, gun-toting, mullet-wearing, underwear designing, live stream show directing Joe Exotic. And bless his heart, this man, more than anybody we've ever known, and we've known some people, just wants to be famous. I don't think he even cared about the Tigers. The man just wants to be famous. And now he finally is, and he's stuck in prison. And that poor husband must be going every day to read him like tweets and news clippings about how well he's doing when he finally gets out in 22 years.
Is that what it is? I haven't gotten to the end. I'm like, I need 1.5 episodes.
Well, yes, he got 22 years, and he's in a prison, and I believe he's actually in Fort Worth. There, but what's happened to him is that he has been quarantined in the medical center in the prison after being exposed to the coronavirus. Now, that actually speaks to a very serious issue about how they're dealing with coronavirus within prisons, because obviously inmates and guards are going in and out and going lots of places. So it's only the people who work at the prisons who could be bringing it in. But then once it's there, there's no way for the inmates to get away from each other unless they're in solitary or isolation. So that's actually a big issue that Joe's related to. And at the same time, he's suing the government and the Fish and Wildlife or whatever for $94 million for an anti-gay discrimination, saying that he was targeted because he's an openly gay male with the largest collection of generic tigers and crossbreeds. Now, I'm gonna call bullshit on this. It's the boy who cried homophobia. Because sir, they don't care where you put your penis. They care that you were keeping these animals and crossbreeding, and I think more to do with how you were disposing of them illegally.
Well, is that what? See, I don't know what did he get convicted for trying to murder that woman, or did that?
Yes, 2 of the counts were about the attempt to murder for hire, and then there were like 8 counts about the animals. Like they kept stacking things onto it.
Oh, okay.
In order to keep it.
Well, I think, trying to kill somebody or putting a hit out is kind of. I don't think there's anything homophobic about going after somebody who, it's like that's homophobia. I was just trying to kill her.
Yeah. No, that's not. But also, and I know you're not done, but I got to be honest that Joe was a little bit involved, but I feel like he probably said every day someone should kill that woman, because you may not have gotten there, but that other guy, the salt and peppery dude, and the guy that worked for him, I'm like, he said at one point in the series, I'm not going to do anything Joe tells me to do. I work for Jeff, I think his name was. So I feel like there's also a little bit of conspiracy between the 2 of them to set Joe up for this a little bit.
I got to that. I got to that too, where there was that, the trans man that was without the arm that they mislabeled.
I can't like him. Like, oh, I lost my arm, but I'm just gonna go right back to work. Sir, nobody should be that devoted to anybody.
But I wanted to know, did you go back and say, hey, Kat, you shouldn't have bit off my arm? Did you make up with the cat?
Like, inquiring minds want to know. I'd love the follow-up interviews. These are the important questions.
All right, so on to good stuff. Can we?
Yeah.
I mean, not that's entertaining, but it's like I said the other day, it is beyond any white trash that I've ever written. Any.
Correct.
So, but I love that Dolly Parton is reading to kids and on YouTube during this time. It's like she's got this, she's been doing really great things for many, many years with her Imagination Library. And you can go there to imaginationlibrary.com, and anybody can sign up, and your kid will get a book every single year. Or maybe it's every month. I'm not sure. But it's a very great, it's a book, because she grew up in in Appalachia, where there wasn't a lot of reading going on. It was like people had to struggle to get an education, and that's the way she's giving back. So she gets in her bed. I watched one of them today. It's so cute. And she read The Little Engine That Could, which, Leslie quoted and sort of laughed. I think I can. And then also, so that's, I believe that's on Monday nights, but just go on her YouTube channel, which is Imagination Library, and subscribe. And if you got little ones running around, or nieces or nephews or kids, let them watch Dolly read, because it's wonderful. And then my good buddy Bo Bridges is doing live. Guys, I'm in my house and I've got chihuahuas. It's gonna
special guest stars.
Gracie Louise, don't you make me come over there.
At least you're not alone.
I always say, Emerson, that if you don't know I'm gay by looking at me, if I just take a walk with 3 chihuahuas, you're pretty sure. But if I yell out their names, Bitsy May, Gracie Louise, Sissy Marie, I'm a gay man. So
I always say, if you don't know if I'm gay, all you have to do is watch me walk or talk.
They're after a squirrel. That's what it is. So I'm going to finish this, and I'm going to go and close that door, because they're going to be feuding with that squirrel for a while. So anyway, but Bo Bridges is also reading, and he reads every Monday at noon Pacific Standard Time on his Instagram, and his Instagram is Mr. Bo Bridges. So and he's like such a gentle, amazing grandpa. He has many he has many grandchildren of his own. So he's a really great reader. So y'all share that with the kids in your life.
Oh, that's sweet. Okay, you go fix the squirrel. Okay, moving on to the next story. Look, I figured out effects and things. We won't even see him till he comes back. Okay, this next story represents, I find like stupid, lazy bigotry sort of hilarious. And there is a lawyer out of Colorado named Robert Abrams, and he had his law license suspended for 3 months and has to attend sensitivity training after he emailed 2 clients he was representing and saying about the judge in their case, "The judge hates me. It happens. It's not the first time. I probably remind him of someone who beat him up when he was a fat kid, and now that he's a big fat judge, he gets even with the bullies. Maybe he just hates Jews. Who knows? While I was getting your case dismissed, I was getting yelled at by Fatso. The judge is a gay, fat fag. Now it's out there."
Oh,
y'all, That is just a kind of bigotry that I just find hilarious because it's literally like elementary school taunts, like fat phobia, homophobia, but like at the laziest level. I mean, it feels like it'd be the name of some great gay comedian's one-man show, honestly. But the suspension was stayed pending the completion of 18 months of probation, and he has to enroll in ethics school, do 8 hours of cultural awareness and sensitivity training. When asked about it, he said he's simply not a politically correct individual and will never be politically correct. That's how Billies talked to the weaklings when I grew up. Then he tried arguing that the word fag describes a sissy, not a sex preference. Also denied having a bias against such homosexuals, going so far as to ask his gay cousin to testify about their warm familial relationship. I am not a bigot.
Yeah, back to that. I know somebody. Yeah.
Bless his bigoted heart.
So
it's like white people who say, I have black friends. Like, if you're having to say that, whatever you said probably was bigoted in the first place.
So now going back to, because we had to skip one because of this little bitch. Look at her. This is the culprit right there. So there was an anti-gay pastor who had services in Louisiana, and he was slapped with misdemeanor charge. Y'all may have heard about this. Tony Spell, he leads the Life Tabernacle Church in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I've passed through there many times, and I actually hosted something there once. And he speaks in tongues. He's very, very charismatic. 2 weeks ago, he bussed 1,800 people to attend his service, and he was told, don't do this. Do not do this. The governor said, do not do this. And he continued to do it, disobeyed them. And now he is up for 6 misdemeanor counts of disobeying the powers of the governor and defying the state's ban on public gatherings in response to the coronavirus. So Tony Spell, brother Tony, you're stupid.
And also, he's not even alone. Like, there's so many, like a bunch of those Florida churches, like the Florida stay-at-home order allows churches to continue to meet. It supersedes any orders at a local level that would shut down a church. And I gotta be honest, on one side, I feel like let them get together. Let the stupid people get together. Let the bigots get together. I wish Trump would hold his rallies and let people get together. Because if, Darwin, we could happen real fast. The problem is, that then those people would go to the grocery stores that everybody has like one family member getting all their protective gear on and going to safely as possible every 2 weeks. And we'd run into them there and somebody else would get it. Because if it wasn't for that, I'd say, let them knock each other out.
And touch your faces, touch each other, and then touch your faces. Have those MAGA rallies. By the way, speaking of churches, there was one that I thought got very creative where the pastor stood on the steps of the church and had all the people come in their cars in parking lots, and he preached through a megaphone.
I love that.
I sort of love that.
All for creativity. My dad's church in Texas is live streaming so everyone can attend, and their viewership has actually been up. And I told them, well, yeah, if you didn't have to get dressed and leave your house to go to church, I think more people would go. Sunday morning just seems like a lot.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. This next story is an example of why, when people get afraid, their bigotry comes out. There's a couple in France, in Marseille, a Frenchman named David walked outside to go to his essential job and found a handwritten note on his windshield that said, could you please leave the residence because we know that you homosexuals are the first to be contaminated by COVID-19. This is the first warning. Thank you. Now, he went to file a police report and they dismissed it at first, saying it was not a threat, but a warning, which, okay. But after they went to social media, the LGBTQ division of the Bordeaux police reached out and opened an investigation. But David and his partner live in a secure residence, so the car is only accessible to other residents of their building, and thinks the handwriting belongs to a neighbor who had previously filed a complaint against a Muslim couple. Now, to me, this speaks to what happens when people get afraid. They lash out at anybody that's different, anybody they don't understand. It's what we've seen with happening to a lot of Asian people because of that bullshit where the president and a certain kind of conservative wants to call it the Chinese virus, which technically is where it came from. But what happens is then dumb people only hear the name and they start to think anybody from that culture or that community is representative. There's been photos of Asian people that have been physically attacked. And this is another example of that. And morons and bigotry, when stupid gets together, it can become dangerous.
Well, there you go.
Like I have had a sermon about it. It just makes me crazy. You know, there's just so much danger to other people comes from fear and hatred and bigotry that people are taught that they never expand beyond.
Well, the one thing that I feel like that has been a very positive thing with all of this is I have noticed a level of kindness going on. It seems like most people go to that level. Although every now and then there's just some asshole troll that, you know, writes something nasty on your Facebook page or something. And you know what I do now? Because, you know, I am capable of taking the low road. It's a lot more scenic usually, but during this coronavirus, I've been biting my tongue, and I'm going, okay, be kind. Be ye kind one to another, forgiving hearts. I just try to be a little bit kinder because we are all so fucking stressed out.
Yes. And also, Leslie Jordan will be joining us as our special guest in a few minutes. And this is our quick commercial. Dell and I are going to try to do this twice a week. We're going to get fun guests, tell fun stories, go through the news, give you an hour to take a break and be informed and entertained. Obviously, we are entertainers and all of our income sources have stopped because we work in non-essential businesses. And so if you enjoy the show and you want to toss us $1 or $2 or $5, like you were watching a movie or downloaded something from iTunes, at the bottom of the screen, you can Venmo at Emerson Collins or PayPal to beardcollinshoresproductions@gmail.com. And I promise to split it with Dell.
Yeah, because he's controlling everything. I'm just sitting in my home just hoping that I get screen time. Look what he can do to me. Just watch this. Watch this.
See?
Watch
Hold on. Oh, look, Dell's muted. There's nothing. He can't say anything. And it's all under my control.
You can erase me as well. But yes, you know, we are doing this because we want to and everything. But you know, yes, it would be nice if you know, some appreciation came in.
Now I have a question. Did you see Cats, the movie?
I did not.
Okay, I had never seen the musical, and I saw the movie, and I just thought it was absolutely terrible. Like, I didn't find it entertaining. I don't want to go to those late night screenings where people are having rowdy screenings. I just thought it was bad in every way, at every turn, for every reason. Tom Hooper should stop making musicals. I tried to let him have a pass with Les Mis because I love that show so much, but it came out recently that early on in the editing process, the visual effects department had to add all of the cat buttholes to the actors. And so they spent several months adding buttholes to the cats. And then 3 months into the process, they decided it looked absurd and terrible. So they had to pay a whole other group of visual effects artists to take the buttholes back out of the movie. So everybody decided they wanted to see the butthole trailer, the butthole movie, the butthole cut. I mean, I'd want to see it. I want to see Judi Dench's cat butthole.
I think that what's going to be really funny is when these visual effect people go in for interviews and they go, "Now, what did you do on Cats?" Oh, I put in the buttholes.
A little cat butthole.
Well, I did butthole. Oh, well,
you're so cute, little cat butthole. Well, somebody made a trailer, and Queerty has the article. You can go find it, and you can see the cat buttholes that somebody added to a trailer, and they're just giant and pink and offensive and hilarious. All right. Are we ready?
Is he here?
Yes.
Oh my God, he's here.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show our special guest.
Can you see me? Hi.
Yes.
Leslie.
I'm in my bathrobe. I didn't realize it was going to be. I thought we were just going to talk.
We are going to talk. Straighten your hair. Straighten your hair. Did you have a good day, Mr. Viral Sensation? This is crazy what's going on with you.
It's so hard being viral because what an awful thing to say in this day and age.
It's the first time being viral has never been a win.
I have no idea. I didn't even join. Who's that barking? Is that
it's crazy. It's your god dog. I'm going to go make her stop.
Now, I saw that you were watching porn on Instagram this morning.
Oh, I was pretending. I just tuned it in for the sound effects. But anyway, real fast, I signed up for Instagram. I was on the Cool Kids, which was a TV show about a year ago. And Tess Sanchez Greenfield, who's married to Max Greenfield, who's the star of Neighbors. It's on CBS on Monday nights. His wife, Tess Sanchez, is she's the big head honcho. She's head of casting for Fox. And she kept telling me when I'd say something funny, post that. And I said, I don't know what you mean. She said, post it, put it on your Instagram. I said, I don't have one. She goes, what? We were at this big event. She said to her publicity girls, sign him up. Well, I started I would tell people I got 20,000 followers. They said, well, that's nothing. I said, well, are you nuts? 20,000. 20,000 people listen to me. And then it jumped. Megan Mullally, my friend from Will and Grace, posted one of my Instagrams, and it jumped to about 80. And I thought, oh, and this was till 4 days ago. I'm
4 days.
5 days ago. I said, it started climbing a little bit, and I thought, well, this is because everybody's home. And I started posting some things here and there, but I have no idea. I wanted to reach, my goal was 250,000, and bam, 1.1 million.
No, it's 1.2. It's 1.2 now.
Oh, well, you know what I found out, though? You only jump once you get to 1 million. You only jump every 100,000. So
Yeah.
I jumped.
Oh,
Leslie, that's all of Fort Worth and half of Dallas.
Leslie, let me just tell you where you are right now with your Will and Grace cast. So Sean Hayes has 1-1. So you just passed him. Eric McCormick has 387. I don't know what he's doing wrong. Deborah Messing has 1.3. You will pass her tomorrow, probably. And Megan also has 1.3. So you're going to pass the whole cast of Will and Grace.
But why? What do you
Because
think?
you are hysterical, and they're just. I mean, what do you think, Emerson? We can't stop watching them.
Leslie, literally nothing is funnier than you yelling at your mother in the background. And also,
She's
those
not
early.
there. I made that up. She gets mad at me because, see, right now I was home visiting family, and then all this hit. So I thought I got to hunker down with my family. But I thought I can't live. You know, I love my mother. I love my twin sisters, but there's no way I could live. So I leased a little loft. It's adorable in the downtown area. So what I do is I go out during the day, put my mask on and my gloves, and I drive all the way out there, and then I just spend. Where'd he go?
He's yelling at them puppies. You just keep talking to the people at
You
home.
need to gas that chihuahua.
At least one. Like 3's too many. It's like a menagerie at this point.
Come back.
We got to figure this out. I threw him in the bedroom.
So you put on your mask and you go out.
And I sit with them, and we, visit, and we have a wonderful day. But then I have to come back and I sit, and after I got all my material, I sit and pretend Mama's off in the corner. She doesn't like it at all.
Has she seen him, Leslie?
No.
You can't show her that one. Although
Any of them. I showed her one, and she thought it was really cute. I can't remember which one, but I showed her some of them. But no.
What about
Leslie, people love it also because you speak for all of us. You're just tired and exhausted and stuck. And what are we all going to do?
I don't know. I'm figuring one out. I'm going to paint my nails and then watch it dry.
That'll be more than a minute.
Toenails.
That's what I can't get over is what is really brilliant. What you do is how you can do so much in so little time. You can you can tell a whole story and make us laugh. And I go, that has to be more than a minute.
No, I keep it under a minute.
You do?
I know.
You know, People magazine called, you wouldn't believe when you go viral, people, Ryan Seacrest people called, Mario Lopez people called, all the people are calling. but they want to do an interview of such. But People Magazine wanted 15 minutes of me with my cat. They didn't understand that's not my cat. I don't. So anyway, I don't know.
Well,
Also, but I'm just impressed because both of you, the entire 15 years I have known you, have never told a story that lasted less than 10 minutes. And here you are making 1-minute stories.
but we want to say thank you for doing our little show, the premiere of our show, back with the Dell and Emerson Show, because I know you're doing Today's Show and People Magazine, and
Yes,
because you know there are people in our lives who got famous who would not do what you do, Leslie.
But you're not going to name names.
No, I'm not going to name names.
For the first time ever. When did he ever not name names? Yeah, ask about
ask a question. We're so excited about your new TV show. We're returning to the air, and I want to I want to remind you of when you got canceled, the day you got canceled, and you called me and you said, I am gutted. We just got canceled and we're a hit. And I said, Leslie, something is going to come up bigger. And I bet you this is going to run for 5, 7, 8 years, and it's going to be all you need. But tell us about it, and I will also want to know, just because I know we have a lot of aspiring actors and actors, you did something really brilliant after you got cast, and I want you to tell that story that you've told me.
Well, it wasn't really anything I did. What had happened was I was cast. It's called Call Me Cat. It's a very big project at Fox TV. It's a straight to series order because of the pedigree. It's Jim Parsons is producing it. Mayim Bialik and Swoosie Kurtz are mother and daughters in Lexington, Kentucky. One's fancy. Swoosie's fancy, but her daughter's not fancy, and she just wants her to get married. And Mayim takes her dowry and buys a cat cafe. And within the cat cafe is Kyla Pratt, who's just a little Disney darling and has big singing voice, and Cheyenne Jackson and Heartthrob, and, like a movie star.
He does something to me.
Well, and also a daddy, such a good daddy to those.
Yes.
He's got twins. They're beautiful. But anyway, what was I saying? Oh, they hired me to play this one part that was small, and Darlene Hunt, that created it, said, it's just 4 lines, but it's a 13 episode order, so we're going to develop this character. And I thought, well, I'll do 4 lines. And I read the script. I'd read the script a couple of times. Well, there was this character named Phyllis that was kind of, it never said a big old girl, but her husband went to the Big Lots and saw a woman that made him feel 18 years old, and he leaves her. And so the whole pilot, she just is so heartbroken, and all these shenanigans happen. But anyway, Phyllis, the bottom line is she's pitiful. And I remember thinking, I was reading the script, I thought, it's hard, believe it or not, to play pitiful. Because if you play pitiful, nobody's going to think you're pitiful. You've got to play it with such earnest and care that people finally go, honey, she's pitiful. She's pitiful. So I know that my agency sent 8 women in, and they could not find their Phyllis. So Darlene Hunt, that created it, called me one day. I knew she was tiptoeing around it. Would I be willing to just take some of those lines, maybe put them on video and I said, I'll come in. She goes, what? I said, I'll come in and audition. Well, I went over there, and they're a bunch of big old girls.
And you?
And me. And I signed in. I didn't tell them I was reading for Phyllis. You know how you put who you're reading for? I didn't even put anything. Well, I went in there and read, and they called me that afternoon and said, it's Phil. We're going to make him Phil because we're going to make him gay.
Oh,
I'm
glad they did that.
My partner has left me for a butch boy. I added that part. I added it. I said he went over to the Big Lots and met a real butch boy. He's left me, and I get to be so pitiful. But anyway,
met one of the butch boys like you like.
Yes,
And you cook you bake pastries, right? You're a
yeah.
pastry.
I cook at I bake. I'm the baker at the cat cafe that Mayim buys. So
Just surrounded by pussy.
yeah,
So,
wrangling. I wrangle the pussy.
well, have they delayed? I mean, how are they dealing with this? With
Well, we were supposed to have a table read, a network table read. It was, where'd he go? Y'all sit down and
I'll be
stay
right back.
put.
I don't know what he has no animals to wrangle like me. We're working out of our house.
Just real fast. We were going to do a network table read. I mean, it was ready to go. We were going to shoot a pilot and then come back in June and do 13, finish out the order, which would have been 12. Well, of course, when the Warner Brothers itself shut down, Warner Brothers shut down,
Yeah.
and so they wrote us. Darlene wrote us the sweetest missive and said, guys, it's going to happen. We've got Zoom. We're going to work. We've got our writers' room in place, and la la la, and it's almost like a cable schedule now because we're going to be able to get some scripts down before you even come in. But we'll do it in June. But the cool part was when she texted all of us. Well, that put us in touch with each other. So all of a sudden, I'm telling Cheyenne, "Oh, you're just wonderful. I can't wait to meet you." And Mom, I've loved you since you were Bette Midler, a little baby Bette Midler in Beaches, and Swoosie and Kyla, and we created a love fest online for a series that hasn't even gone in production.
Well,
I love that.
I love that. Isn't it great to work with people who are not assholes? And I don't know the rest of them, but I've heard every one of their reputations. I know Caroline Ray worked with Cheyenne. I worked with Swoosie, and she is absolutely the sweetest and funny. Off screen, Swoosie is funny and a big practical joker, so you better watch out.
Oh, she better not try anything with me.
So yeah.
Hey, for those of you watching on Facebook and Periscope and YouTube, if you have questions, send them now and I'll read them out in a little bit. Leslie, I want to show you something I learned today.
Okay.
I taught a tutorial because, the internet is sold out of scarves and bandanas and masks everywhere. It's hard to make a mask. Well, I realized all us homosexuals can make a mask out of a jock strap. It's real easy. You take it, you put the waistband around your head, and then you put the legs over your head.
Take that off.
Oh, you've had worse. You've had worse in your mouth, Leslie.
And then it's a mask.
Does it stink?
Well, this one's clean, but if you like to use the used one, that's your personal choice.
I feel like that he's in Palm Springs, Leslie. I feel like if you walked out on the street in Palm Springs, people wouldn't even bat an eye with that on your head.
I know.
Whatever.
Hey, Mike Lotus asked, when does the sitcom air?
The sitcom airs. Well, I don't know because we haven't even shot it yet. It'll be
what network is it?
Fox TV. Of course, I would imagine the fall of 2020. But
somebody just said it's true. They said, that line, "Do you see my pussy now?" would work real well in that cat cafe too.
I'll give them that. I'll add it at the table read.
Just a little.
Leslie, remember how I didn't even write that line? The most famous line that is attributed to me, I did not even write it, was that grit that came up to you and said, you ought to just yell out, "Do you see my pussy now?" while you throw those shoes. And
it was a lighting guy. Is a grip a lighting guy?
What's that?
Grip the lighting people. Somebody from the lighting.
Yeah, it was one of the crew members, and you did it. And there we go. There's a little sordid history for you.
There you are. My one-man show, I say I made it up. But anyway.
Leslie, Scott Fullerton asked about the documentary that you're producing with Brandon Stansel. Is that something you can talk about?
Well, he's put it all together. All I did was give money, really. I gave a lot.
That's the most important part.
Yeah, I know Ryan that manages him, and he's got that beautiful voice. And so they were going to do this documentary. And see, he's from my hometown. He's from Chattanooga, Tennessee. And so we had met at Starbucks. I mean, a long time ago. And, he's very handsome. So we started talking and got to be good friends. I'd go to Starbucks every day. And, he said, I sing and la, la, la. And I thought, yeah, well, anyway. But he has a really good voice.
Oh, he opened for you at the Catalina Room when I was.
Yes,
great.
yes. And that's the night I decided I'm going to help him. Because his story, is so similar to all of us coming from a small town and gay and ostracized and on and on. And so that's his documentary. And it's got a great title. Three chords
and the truth.
And the truth.
Yeah.
Which is that's what they say all country songs are, is 3 chords and the truth, I think. Anyway.
Leslie, do you watch RuPaul's Drag Race?
I don't.
Do you know who Latrice Royale is? She's a big old drag queen.
Yes.
Well,
I know who she is.
Chris Hamlin, her husband, is watching right now. He's started a watch party, but they are huge fans of Sordid Lives.
Uh-huh.
And I freaked out when I met her.
She's 9 feet tall, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, 9 feet tall.
Yes.
Huge. Yes.
You look like a table lamp next to her.
I look like a lawn gnome.
Well,
everyone's yard needs decoration.
Does Chris have
where would I have been when I got pictures, or maybe DragCon in LA?
Yeah.
We got a bunch of pictures. But
I
yes.
remember wearing my Latrice Royale t-shirt when the way I connected with her is she quoted Sordid Lives on Drag Race.
Episode of Drag Race.
A couple of times. And I tweeted her and I says, thanks for the shout out. She was doing some the dating game of some sort. And Gus, what's his name? Kinsworthy was the bachelor, and he asked if she was the top or the bottom bunk. And she said, well, if I was the top bunk, I'd have to reinforce that bunk with lug nuts. So
I want to say real fast that not that I don't watch RuPaul. I don't watch anything.
Yeah.
I decided it was the best decision of my life. About 3 or 4 years ago, I thought at 6 o'clock the curtain goes down and I'm done. And I don't watch. People say, but you go to the movies. Last movie I saw was Brokeback Mountain. That was a good one.
You like that spit and shove?
And I haven't seen a movie since. Billy Butler took me one time to a Disney. We saw a cartoon or something. But anyway, I just don't. It's not that I don't watch RuPaul. I don't watch anything.
Leslie, wait.
Did Chris
this conversation has inspired me. Leslie, you should start a merchandise line of lawn gnomes that are you and lawn gnome size and sell it. Everybody put them in their yards. A little Leslie.
Well, you got to find
somebody. We can figure that out.
You know what'd be more fun is where you'd make it, where you paint it yourself. Like you get those little
just get plaster of Paris.
Those craft jars.
There's a lot of merch for you, baby. We got to figure some shit out because I think with your million, maybe it's 1.3 million. It's just when I'm like,
I'm gunning for Deborah. I'm gunning for Deborah and Megan.
And you were gaining as many followers as I have on Instagram. You were gaining that in every hour. That's how crazy your Instagram was.
Well, Leslie, I only have 18,000 and I all but put my penis on it.
I heard it's big. Oh,
you saw it when we were laying in that motel bed.
I saw it.
Leslie and I are shooting this super serious scene. I'm playing this serial killer telling his sob story. It's 110 degrees in the motel room. Leslie's in that wig and pajamas just sweating and he keeps going, show it to me. Show it to me.
I will say it again.
That day was so horrific, and you really did look like Courtney Love on a real bad day in that wig.
I can remember one part. I just wanted to see it. It's when we first had to go in, and you said, "Well, honey, we're going to have to turn off the air and shut the door." No. Yes, we do. For sound. I said, I don't care. I'm scared I'll die.
And then you said, does he really need to say all those lines?
Oh, I know. I don't tell. Cut that. That's
Hey, when you're lucky you were working with
cut that
people in
line.
college, you never
Cut
missed
all that.
a word. I mean,
Where was that motel? I can't remember.
Dallas.
South Dallas.
It was North Bumfuck Dallas. It was so seedy, that hotel.
But we had shot part of it up in Canada, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is your life just becoming fuzzy, Leslie?
Yes.
Where was that?
That half an Ambien I take before I go to bed. It's no.
Now, Leslie, can you still get your tea? Well, how are you getting tea during the quarantine?
Honey, I brew it.
Oh,
What do
your
you
own,
mean,
make it
tea?
at home?
So you don't go to Starbucks?
No, I brew it, and it's very. You put 4 tea bags in a quart of water, and 1/3 cup of sugar. Here, I got it right here. I just brewed some.
I really do believe you need to reach out to Starbucks. They should sponsor everything you do because
They did for a little while.
Did they?
For a little while, remember when I cussed that boy out and
After you got in that fight in front and threw your tea in that bigot's face?
I threw it in his face because he called me a faggot. And then it got on national news. And they said it was hot coffee. I said, no. I didn't throw hot coffee on anybody. It was sweet iced tea.
Not so sweet.
Me. This is what is so bizarre. I'm not a celebrity, but how would they know, TMZ, that I was getting on a flight the next day? They have to be able to. I mean, it was crazy. Or do they just hunker down around the airports? Because I got out of a taxi the next day and someone said, Mr. Jordan, it's TMZ. I'd like to talk to you about throwing that tea. I said, what? It was crazy. Somebody, listen, I'm trying to figure out with the internet, somebody, if you put in your location, you can go from Instagram and it'll give you an area. And it's saying that I'm at Georgia and MLK Boulevard, which I'm not. I'm not going to tell you where I am. But some fools out there hollering my name last night. Leslie! Leslie!
No, it's like this is not the right time to be stalked during a coronavirus outbreak.
What about the Beatles? Somebody was out there, and that's the only thing I can figure because they were a block away. And that's what, anyway.
It's like whenever I see you driving out of the Erewhon in that convertible and you look out the convertible and yell, hey, sissy.
You haven't seen my new one, though, have you?
I haven't
seen my new one.
Oh.
I took a few dollars from the other one, the cool kids, and bought me a BMW. It's so beautiful. And then the series got canceled, and I thought, well, you get to keep the car. What else can you do? But then this other one's coming along.
It's like
how much longer are we gonna go? A while?
No, we can wrap it up.
We're done.
Shit, I'm so tired.
We're just enjoying you. It's like I said, I don't really have that many questions planned. I'll just let him talk.
No, hard. As we say in Tennessee, tarred. I'm tired.
Well, we love you and we're proud of you. And congratulations on everything. It's so well deserved, Leslie.
And I want to say, real seriously, I know we've all been doing this. Lord, I was looking at photos the other day of us being on tour, and you've been in my life for 14 years, and it is just such a joy and a pleasure to watch your work. You're an inspiration to our community. You are a leader, and we love you.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. And we'll tune in to Call Me Cat. I guess that's next.
Absolutely. And Instagram. Follow it. If you're not following Leslie on Instagram, let's get him to test. What's that?
To be THE at the Leslie Jordan.
Leslie, you got 1 million followers. All they have to do is type LE and you'll be one of the first people that comes
up. There's that woman up there in Maine somewhere has a clothing line. So anyway, I'm the Leslie.
Well, you go to bed. We love you. Thanks for doing the show. And we'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye, friend. There he goes.
What he's always what now he's just a blank spell. There you go.
I got it.
Our engineer is messing up, Emerson.
Look, it's our first time.
Well,
y'all, this has been such a damn delight.
Yes, it has been. This was one of we'll see how long we go with these, but we so appreciate everybody that listens in on anything that we do. We're very grateful, and I always say we can't do what we do if it weren't for you. So thanks for supporting our work all these years, and we will continue to try and entertain during this crazy crisis.
And if you enjoyed it and you want to toss us $1 or $2 or $5, or you can tip us on Venmo at Emerson Collins, or you can send a PayPal to beardcollinshoresproductions@gmail.com. It's at the banner on the bottom. And we'll be back. We'll do this again on Tuesday. We're going to try to do it twice a week. We'll wrangle some people and have a good time.
All right, y'all. Be safe, stay in, and let's get through this.
Enjoy your weekend. Bye.